called the West Coast Building, the WB, and it's just the CMO RTC office. So if you read a newspaper article and Miscavige has taken meetings with city leaders, it's going to be in the governor's office. And guys, you've heard us talk about the Scientology Business Consulting Fund Group. That's these fellas. World. Now there's cars here, so you know someone's here. Well, no, this is actually one of the offices that almost always has somebody. So let's see. This is where they put on their seminars. So the thing is, they're not public buildings, they're private buildings. And there's no public benefit test to a religious group. So like, these are private buildings, they're off the tax rolls, they do not pay property tax. And there's actually someone right now putting together a list of properties, tax appraised properties, to try to estimate how much tax revenue annually Clearwater losing out on because Scientology doesn't pay taxes. Yeah. So that's the thing. They're not public buildings. Once Scientology buys them, they're no longer public buildings.
Anything you need, boss. Oh, hi. What can I do
Not
for you?
Not benefiting the community at all.
Keep your blood sugar up.
Messed up, guys.
Have we wandered down to the Sandcastle yet, where you learn about Xenu and the Body Thetans? Today's your lucky day. This is Fort Harrison. Yeah, this is North Fort Harrison that we're on.
I'll believe it when I see it. Call me when you got results. I'm here for you, boss. 100%.
Mothership.
Okay.
Okay, we're about to enter a shade desert. A complete absence of shade. No one cares but me, but I felt the need to announce it. All right, here we go. Here we go. Which is why I'm going to be walking extra fast. Yeah, I gotta get in the shade. Oh Lord, I made it to safety. I feel like a polar bear that found the one tiny little floating iceberg in the ocean. Oh my goodness. All right, you ready for the next haul?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Boom! This is the sandcastle right here. The sandcastle is where you learn about the OT levels and Xenu in the body station. Here's a bus! It's a bus!
No way!
They're like, oh my god, the SPs are here, watch out. Oh yeah, they spotted. There's a few people still on. Oh no, this is a hotel, half hotel and half auditing space for the OT levels.
Safe journey, happy space travelers! Safe journey! Safe journey, happy space travelers! We can help you!
So there's a
I'm
few.
pretty sure they saw us.
There's a. Well, just building to building to building, because they don't let them walk. Well, one, so they don't run into people like us. Two, because there was a day when, before the cafeteria was located, before the flag building existed, and now you don't have to go from building to building to eat. 3 times a day, you'd have about 1,500 people crossing the street at the same time trying to eat a meal, and it would just absolutely terrify all the little old ladies at the stoplights, and it was a huge deal. Yeah. Like heart attacks. Yeah. Just 1,500 people crossing these little streets at the same time makes it look like there's some sort of a riot happening. Yeah. And plus this was back when they were still wearing Navy looking uniforms, and it was like a War of the Worlds situation every breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Yeah. So, but now it serves a lot of purposes to run all the shuttles because it keeps them from interacting with any undesirables. Like us.
A big badass tree!
And so because this concert hall, oh, you can see a good shot of the concert hall here. So this was one of the most clever ways for the city of Clearwater to say F you to Scientology, is they built a world-class concert venue right across the street from the advanced org where they have to have silence for auditing sessions. So they're actually abandoning this advanced org. They're building they're going to break ground on a new one north of here and turn this one back into a full hotel. Yeah. Oh yeah? Scientology was trying to get it moved to the other end of the park so it wasn't so close, and they
Right there.
did not succeed.
There's Scientology auditing.
I mean, maybe they have like white noisemakers, but even that is a distraction in an auditing center. You know? Yeah, so this property goes all the way down to the water. You remember the restaurant? It's on the water, right? Yeah. So here, it's not open to the public. It's not a locker. Yeah, so those are auditing rooms right there. Oh, check it out. You can... Wait, you're telling me even the Scientologists aren't using their own swimming pool? I'm shocked. These are OT auditing rooms.
Auditing.
Oh yeah,
Bring
absolutely.
Give me the body agent.
That's the whole reason this building exists.
Got my own.
Yeah. Yeah. Regular. Yeah.
Come on.
Let's get to work. You know who makes good license plates? Prison inmates. I can still work a spray can.
Oopsie. Yep, some prime Clearwater real estate they're taking up here. This is the main front entrance to the Sandhills. Yeah. Is that him? I gotta tell you.
We wouldn't do any of those things.
Correct.
Daddy bought me the hell?
What the fuck?
About to hit my expiration date. Guys, if you're watching live right now, hit that like button if you don't mind. All right, I'll tell you what, guys. I said I'm going to try to do 50-50 vertical and horizontal streaming, so I'm going to end 45 minutes of vertical. I'm going to end this stream, and I'm going to restart horizontal. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. Hit that like button. Everyone, thank you for your patience. We're just a few minutes late here. Figured. Thank you for joining me, guys. I swear I had like 4 or 5 videos I wanted to got 2 of them done, and then it got wrapped up in hard work. You know what? It's been a week since my last Q&A. I'll do another live Q&A. My StreamYard narrator will be here soon, and I'm going to ask Barb to focus on starring comments and questions from both members and non-members, but with a particular emphasis on making sure, trying to make sure that every comment or question made by a channel member that begins with comment or question is starred. Now, just because it gets starred doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to take it up, but it does mean I will see it. Don't take it up because I chose not to. But for people, you know, maybe we're not going in a while, channel memberships. Channel memberships is a thing that YouTube is really pushing channels to do. I finally figured out for myself a way, figured out for myself how channel memberships actually benefits you guys out there, not just me over here. And at this point, one of the only ways I can think of to add value for channel members is to try to give them priority in these live Q&As. So when Barb gets here, she knows that that's what I'm trying to do. And what the hell was I going to say? Lost my train of thought.
But I'm not actually sure when Barb is going to be able to join me. Oh, that's what I was going to say. If any of the following people are watching, I just want to remind you that if you're watching, you have nothing to do. Please feel free to jump into the back office of StreamYard, and you can help me start some comments if you have just the spare time. That is Marilyn Honig, Mike Brown, Natalie Webster, Sterling Tompkins, and Zach Morgan. If you happen to be watching and you happen to be doing nothing, I could use some extra hands in the back. Eat More Pizza Now. What? Eat More Pizza Now is one of my moderators. Welcome as a new channel member. Eat More Pizza Now. Okay, Panko gifted 5 channel members. Thank you so much, man. That is really generous. So many people have been gifting channel. Actually, it just occurred to me, let me see where we're at on channel members. We're getting very close to 1,000. Look. 971. Not bad. I don't know what's considered good channel membership for YouTube. It's not one of those things that's a public number. Channels, there's no real way to see how many members a channel has. Oh, there's Marilyn. Hi, Marilyn. Hi. There's no way to see how many members a channel has. I haven't really heard channels ever, there's not like really an incentive for a channel to talk about how many members they have. I just think it's kind of cool, actually. So I don't mind. 971 is the magic number right now. Unstable Datum, love the name. Welcome as a new channel member. And let's see, here's a question right off the bat. Unstable Datum says, why is the Freewind suddenly able to dock in more? It feels like the answer might be sketchy and important. That's an interesting question. I'm not aware of specifically what you're referring to. Historically speaking, the only ports the Freewind will talk that is Aruba and ABC Island. And then their relationship went south with one of those islands. I forget which one it was. And then they were only going to 2 islands. And then the Freewinds was, during COVID and everything for years, it was just basically tied up at dock for like multiple years and it wasn't going anywhere. And then it was in dry dock for a while. And then I've been getting a lot of emails about its itinerary lately. It's bouncing back and forth. But I might not have been paying close attention to emails. I just assumed it would, hey, look, the Freewinds and sailing back and forth. So if it's sailing to places other than Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao, that would be interesting. And I don't know the answer, even if I knew which islands you were talking about or which other ports. But if anyone out there in Scientology land has any insight that they'd like to share with me about the Freewinds and whether it's sailing to new ports and why and how and all that good stuff, I'd love to hear it. Thank you for the question, Unstable Datum. Let's see. Well, let me take a moment just to say hi to the moderators and some regulars in the chat. I'm going to go back to the very beginning. Abigail.
Hello.
You were the
this
first
is Morse Mutual Insurance.
I
think we can do
am
that.
guessing that your comment is referring to whether this is a members-only Q&A. The Q&A video is watchable and live chattable for anyone on the internet. You don't have to be a subscriber. You don't have to be a member. But that's why I'm asking my StreamYard team to prioritize starring comments and questions. Let's see. I said hello to Eat More Pizza. Now, I want to say hi to some other moderators who are in the live chat. I'm just going to scroll through and look for them. Lydia Von Stretchclaw, welcome. Good to see you. And Eat More Pizza Now. There you are. Of course, SPTV Tattoo Warrior, Barb. He's in the chat. Failing to jump back on stream there too. Farrell Cheryl, moderator Farrell Cheryl, hello. Miss Kim, good to see you. And all right, so Maryland's been starring up a storm. So let me start tackling some of these. Cooler by the Lake, loved your interview with Andrew Gold. Studio is looking good. Yeah. Andrew, I think I told you guys that when Andrew Gold was here in Clearwater a couple weeks ago, we filmed an interview here in the studio. It's the only thing I filmed here in the studio. but it was for his channel. He did publish that interview this morning, today. And I thought it was great. I mean, I rewatched the interview. I had just as much fun rewatching the interview as I had doing the interview. Andrew was trying to get me canceled. It didn't work, Andrew. I only lost 30 subscribers. In the meantime, Andrew gained like 1,000. I swear to goodness, I don't know what is up with YouTube these days. All right, let's see. I've got multiple drinks that going on tonight. I've got my Pellegrino from Costco. I've got my protein shake from Costco. And then I've got my favorite, Equal Water. They're all going to the same belly, so I just drink them all at the same time. Kind of the way it is. Yeah, you guys can go ahead. Watch out. About an hour and 20 minutes, the chat that Andrew and I did. Had a great time doing it. It's not a conversation I would have on my channel because I'm very conscious or conscientious of the fact that you guys come to me for Scientology talk and for my amazingly shaped bald head. You don't come to me for anything else. But it's just some conversations. It's just I just don't think it's appropriate for my channel. But Andrew and I, and I think a lot of you might enjoy hearing us shoot the shit. Let's see. Oh, likely lost. I convinced my husband to protest. We are the RV couple. Nice. This is great. Going to NYC on April 10th. Well, I know what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to pull up your channel and subscribe. Because at the end of my night, when I'm ready to go, I lay in bed and I pull up my YouTube and I hit my subscribe button on all the channels that I'm subscribed to, and I just look for who's live. And whoever's live, I bounce back and forth, and I watch their stuff, and I try to comment in their chat, and if I'm subscribed to, and you're live, I'll see it. Okay, likely lost is got 2,340 subscribers, and now we got I'm excited. That's awesome. Arellano. Why can't Seared members have a name? Wouldn't Scientology want as many born-in Scientologists as possible, especially with their numbers as they are? Okay, the answer to the first part of the question is, it's really not good for babies to be born to Seared parents who aren't able to take care of them, don't have the time. Like, you're basically, you're practically being born into a foster care system if you're born into it. You basically don't know you're born. That's not good. That's not good for anyone. It's also not good for the Seared, which is really, in my opinion, why David Miscavige eventually got rid of the ability for the Seared members to get it. He's like, this is a distraction for the Seared member. I don't think David Miscavige cared that it was horrible and horribly abusive. I think David Miscavige cared that it was a distraction to the Seared parents. It was a financial burden to the Seared. Not that they ever spent much money taking care of these kids. Financial burden, you could say a legal liability problem, all sorts of horrible things are associated with birthing and raising kids in the Seared. But the fact that they can't do that, good. You would think Scientology wants as many born-in members as possible. Now that's why the colleges, staff members are allowed to have kids. But Scientologists aren't exactly prolific creators. And that's, in my opinion, one of the reasons Scientologists are not prolific readers, is that it's expensive to be a Scientologist. And if you got 8 kids, having those 8 kids do Scientology is expensive. Now, these days, Scientology families get around that expense by having their kids join staff or having their kids join us. So, you would honestly expect Scientology families to win out. It's just not kind of part of the Scientology. sort of like kind of business work, production focus. It's almost it doesn't allow a lot of time to think like family structure. It's just not. You'll never meet a Scientologist. But you'll never meet a former Scientologist. Like, oh yeah, I mean, Scientology, it was instilled in me that family matters. And somehow that seems to translate into owning a family doesn't matter. I mean, I had three, my wife and I left the Sea Org because she was pregnant. We had our first daughter, 2 years later another daughter, 2 years later another daughter. 3 kids. It's rare to have a Scientology these days. It's not like it's like one birth. It's just not a thing. It's not a thing either. Like the Mormons. And that's not even an insult. Don't take any offense, Mormons. It is not an insult to have tons of kids. Mormons have tons of kids. A lot of the Catholic families have tons of kids. That might be because there might be a religious belief that's against birth control. Again, I don't want to talk out of my leg. I'm no expert on other religious groups. It's just not part of the Scientology culture. You would think, David Miscavige, you would think this is one of the things that David Miscavige would actually ask about. Start having a lot of kids, even if it was for his own underhanded purposes of recruiting as many of those kids as possible. Then he would say, "We start having some more kids around here." I can see what would go wrong with that, right? Because if that message started to work its way around the Scientology community, Sea Org members would start having babies. If you had all these cute little babies coming into the orgs, all these Scientology families bringing all their cute little babies in all the time, into the Sea Org orgs, all these young Sea Org members would have baby fever, and they probably would. Interesting question. Okay, let's see. I will be in Clearwater at the end. What business downtown should I spend? What should I spend my money? I have to spend, and I want to put it into this town. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to pull up a map now. 500. You guys can write this down. 500 block Cleveland Street. Cleveland Street or Cleveland? Cleveland Street. The north side. 500 block is a block completely owned by non-Scientology. And there's some great businesses in there. And at this point, those are the only businesses in downtown Cleveland I am ever going to hear from out of my mouth as far as recommending that people go. It doesn't mean it's the only places in downtown Clearwater that are okay to go to. I'm just saying it's the only ones you can hear about. So there's a restaurant called Soul Sicilian Fusion. There's a place called Nash Keys, like Nashville, Canada. Nash Keys Dueling Canada. It's not showing up here on the map, but next to that place, basically everything on that block is Muerto. It comes either way. Look at that. Thank you for the question. Okay, Nina. So, how come someone has not walked into a Scientology building taking control, sitting there, LRH? Well, that's an easy one. David Miscavige would never let that. Also, it would be impossible to prove that you were LRH. There's so much secret documentation of things about L. Ron Hubbard's life. So, if we just were to theoretically and such a thing, that it were possible to reincarnate in a lifetime. Let's pretend that it would be possible for the being who animated the meat sack known as L. Ron Hubbard to have picked up a new meat body and grown up. That person, that being, would have complete and total eidetic recall of his past life. And if David Miscavige were SPTV supporter says, how can Sea Org members continue to get their stats back? It seems like that's an impossible task to possibly get your stats from. Thank you for the question, SPTV supporter. You are correct. It is impossible to have your stats up. That's why Sea Org members are smart. They know that any week that you're potentially have a day off, you only get that day off, or you're only eligible to ask for the day off if your stats were up for that week. So a smart Sea Org member makes sure their stats are down that week, so that it's then easy to get their stats. The answer to your question is it's simply not possible. It's never been done, will never be. And on a week-to-week basis, if your stats are down, you are considered a down stat. You could go from selling 5 books to 500 books, 5 books, 500 books to 500 to 450, and you would not be eligible for any sort of reward on the week that you got 450, even though it was, almost 100 times more than where you were at before. Scientology only cares about your stats on a 1-week basis. Let's say it was the last week of March, and the last week of March, your stats now. But for the entire month of March, you had produced 10 times more of whatever your stat was than the March of the previous year. They don't care. They don't care what this is. You are not eligible. I say, I'm not talking about Sea Org life where, okay, in the Sea Org, there's something called order. And this is totally different than what you're eligible for today. In the Sea Org, they still do it today. They, things, trends in the Sea Org change, pendulums and that. But most Sea Org, at the end of the week, whoever's stat was up, doesn't matter if your stat was number of papers filed, money raised, auditing hours delivered, whatever your stat was, anyone whose stat was up for the week, if the org has that org, because the executive director of the org has their own stat that is that. If the org whose up stat was up, any individual staff member who is also up staff for the week is allowed to have pizza and a movie on a Friday night or Saturday night, while everyone else does White Club money. That's how it was on L. Ron Hubbard Day when I was there. It's called org awards. So you would not be eligible for org awards that last week of March if your stats were slightly down from the week before, even if your monthly stats were 10x year over year. This is one of the reasons that being a staff member or a member in Scientology is an extremely negative experience. The entire system is not actually set up for annual year-over-year expansion. It's almost impossible to do long-term planning or worry about or even be able to focus on implementing programs that are intended to raise stats long-term when the only thing anyone ever judges is whether your stat was compared to last week. It's an insane stat management system, and it contributes to the experience of being a staff member and a Sea Org member just being a bad experience. It's one of the many things. All right, Annette, did you know that there's a 10X Kids University, Grant's daughter? The fact that Grant puts his underage daughters up on stage and at conventions and has turned them into little motivational speakers, troubling to me on many levels. I'd not heard of 10X Kids University. Doesn't shock me in the least, actually. That kid. Something tells me about that guy. Thank you for the comment. Okay, the next question comes from Evna. Aaron, do you believe Clearwater politicians and Scientology are connected? Oh, I know they are. It's not that the politicians are themselves Scientologists. It's that they all have close friends and business associates and social associates and political cohorts, political allies who are on Scientology payroll. The most recent mayor of Clearwater, he was serving as interim mayor, Brian Ong. Brian Ong is one of the top leading figures in Clearwater's political establishment. His son, Brian Ong Jr., is literally on site. Brian Ong Jr. he's a real estate lawyer. Brian Ong Jr. lines his pockets by helping David Miscavige, Scientology, and his agent, Moises Agami, David Miscavige's agent, Moises Agami, buy up Clearwater. That's right. The mayor of Clearwater's son personally enriches himself by helping Scientology take over Florida. Just before Brian Ong took over as interim mayor, he took over because Frank Hibbert had abruptly resigned as Clearwater's mayor. Middle of the hill. One of Frank Hibbert's closest friends, Mary Repper, who again, a fixture in Clearwater's political establishment. Mary, and a very close personal friend of Frank Hibbert. Mary Repper actually managed Frank Hibbert's first mayor. She's literally was, at the time, a lobbyist. I'm not being figuratively, I'm being hyperbolic, literally Scientologist. Ed Armstrong, another fixture in the local political establishment. He used to perform the role for Scientology that Brian Ong Jr. performed. So Ed Armstrong used to be the real estate guy for Scientology agent. Now it's Brian Ong. Frank Hibbert's best friend is a man named Joe Burdett. Joe Burdett is the new Mary Repper. Joe Burdett is a lobbyist for the Church of Scientology. These guys are all hopelessly compromised by Scientology. Now, do they like Scientology? They actually secretly hate Scientology. They hate David Miscavige. But they'll take Scientology's money anyway. It's like these guys behind closed doors will try to get on my case, talking shit about David Miscavige. And it got to the point where I go, I do not care what you say in private. What you say in private is so meaningful. The people of Clearwater don't give a shit whether you hate Scientology. If in your role as a representative for the people of Clearwater, you are feckless, silent, and you not only allow Scientology in your takeover, you enable it, and not only do you enable it, your buddies literally are getting rich off it. So it's disgusting. They're not Scientology. None of these Clearwater politicians are Scientology. But I'll tell you, in the election 2 years ago and in the election that just happened 2 weeks ago, for the first time, there were Clearwater politicians elected who only won because of the vote they got from Scientology. Now, why is that, and what do I mean? Previously, any candidate who the Scientologists were encouraged to vote for won in a landslide. They were always going to. They won by a margin much greater than the number of Scientologists who voted. So they would have won without the Scientologists. That changed 2 years ago. For the first time ever, a council person, Lena Teixeira, won, she was running against me, by a margin smaller than the number of Scientologists. So for the first time ever, an elected council member owed their victory to the support they got from Scientology. That happened for the first time 2 years ago. It happened again 2 weeks ago. Ryan Otti, who ran against Marco, won by 600 or 700. Well, there might be about 2,000 voting Scientologists. Maybe a little. I forget what the math I did on it 2 years ago. But it's less than 3,000. And in the mayoral race, the mayor won by a limb. He would have won without Scientology. He has Scientology, but he would have won without it. In the other seat, Michael Menino won by a limb. He had Scientology for it, but he would have won. Ryan Cotton would have lost if it were not for Scientology for it. He knows that. And Lena Teixeira knows that. And they know they have no chance of winning re-election if they get on Scientology's bad side during their 4-year council member. So that's a long answer to that question, FM. Thank you for it. I appreciate it. Jen Else. My mind is swimming over the real estate hijinks. Yeah, you're talking about this $60 million purchase that was announced yesterday where Scientology snapped up a whole bunch more prime commercial real estate in downtown Clearwater, including the office tower where the city of Clearwater has its city hall office. So David Miscavige, through his proxy Moises Agami, is now the landlord of the city of Unbelievable. It's Annie M. says, I have a research connection regarding high doses of niacin. Who should I send the email to follow up if any ex-Scientologists are interested in talking to research? Thank you for the question. I don't really have an answer for you, to be honest. Just message your favorite SBTV creator, I guess. I've already seen a ton of the studies on niacin. It's very damning. Niacin is one of the most thoroughly and long-term studied vitamins or supplements out there. And the extremely high doses of niacin that Scientologists take, not only on the purification rundown, but over extended periods of time, a lot of Scientologists, it is toxic, and I believe it is linked to the high cancer rate. But, I mean, don't send it to me, Annie, because I won't do anything with it, but, and I don't know who else is interested, but maybe ask the same question on any of your other favorite channels. Thank you very much. Jamie, question, what's your favorite band or your favorite singer? Okay, I'm going to give you the answer that's been most true for me during most of my life, even though I feel like it's not true. And that band would be U2. And that is the albums Octoon Baby, Rattle and Hum, and War. I feel like those were that was my jam from the years that I remember most clearly as a teenager, young teenager. But it's been a long time since they came out with any music that I even followed. And so it's hard for me to keep singing. I pretty much like pop rock music. And anything on the top end. I'm an easy guy. Yeah, just simple answer. Okay, let's see. This is really happening. Member for a month of AA Ron. Thank you, really happening. Thank you. Thank you for being a channel member. And thank you for joining the live Q&A. Okay, Mr. Murphy. I was working out the yard today, staining a fence back there. I'm dehydrated. A little bit of water, a little bit of protein shake, a little bit of you. That beer is completely flat, and it came straight out of these cans. I have no idea why. Okay, Mr. Merkin says, Laura FM mentioned that Scientologists don't like the color yellow. What is the color associated? That's funny. A little funny. So, it's not this, so the significance of, it's really gold. In Scientology, all ethics and justice orders are printed on gold, which is just gold paper. It's like a yellowish. You know, the color of the jumpsuit or the SBTV shirt, that's the colors that in Scientology they do. It's yellow, but in Scientology they don't call it yellow. It is the color of the division that handles all of the ethics, justice, recruiting, hiring. And it's sort of associated with kind of thing. It's almost like if police officers had a color. I guess they have the color blue. But it's funny because people don't have bad associations with the color blue just because police officers do. So. But like in Scientology, it's like the Scientology police officers are associated with this color golden color. And if you get declared a suppressive person, that order is printed up on golden product. And if you get a committee of evidence called on you, You get ordered to receive a committee of evidence, which is like a Scientology court order. That order is issued on goldenrod colored. And so goldenrod is just like if goldenrod is involved, you're in trouble. So that's what Laura meant. Nancy Alley says, how are things going with the SBTV? They're going amazing. Honestly, been inundated with applications. People still under the radar, leaving, people out. Fundraising has been very successful. I mean, I guess I should have a link to share with you guys, which I don't, but theaftermathfoundation.org is where you can go if you want to make a donation to the foundation. I actually bought 4 URLs. So theaftermathfoundation.com and aftermathfoundation.com and I'm pretty sure they all just redirect to the same website, so it doesn't matter. I don't think we're going to give like month by month updates on like how much funds have been raised. Like we're going to file whatever filings, there's certain filings. I can't remember if you file them directly with the IRS or if you do it with GuideStar. GuideStar.org is the website that you can go to look for all the filings. I just can't remember right now if you file directly with them or if GuideStar just pulls from all the IRS. I've got to check. So I guess what I'm saying is, you shouldn't expect us to be giving fundraising updates because I don't think the closest thing that you'll see to those kind of updates is when we finally get approved by YouTube to do the online fundraising option that YouTube has, and that's the thing that you saw me do with the Aftermath Foundation towards the end there, where we would do these live streams that were YouTube fundraisers, and you could see a running total of how much money was. And so once that is all approved, we'll be doing those, and I guess that does give people a greater feeling of transparency as far as what's being released for that fundraising. But my answer is it's going phenomenal. It's going phenomenal. Thank you for the question. Miss Kim says, do only Sea Org members wear a collar? If so, I've seen a Sea Org member in Austin. I will email the video with timestamp full. I'm so glad you went, Miss Kim, because I had a message from an Austin insider, and I haven't done anything with it yet, but I'm going to read this to you. It says, here's a tidbit that you might find interesting. A lot of the staff members in Austin are actually Sea Org members. They literally could not get enough public to sign up for staff in order to open the building. So they just started filling posts with Sea Org members from the Los Angeles org and other areas. Even with the Sea Org members that they brought in, they have less than 50 staff per org. Now when this says per org, that means the day shift and the foundation. I don't know why they call it the foundation. I know that historically, I think I'll ever give an explanation. I cannot forget. The day shift is Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. The foundation shift is nights and weekends. Nights, 7 to 10. Weekends, 9 to 6. They are not considered two separate shifts of one organization. They're considered two completely different organizations with two completely different executive directors and executive committees and division heads and everything. Totally separate stats. Everything is separate. They have less than 50 staff per org. That is unbelievable. When I was still working at the Church of Scientology in downtown Philadelphia on 1315 Race Street, we had almost 50 staff members, and I haven't worked there since 2002, 22 years ago. And Austin, which is a much bigger city than Philadelphia, if fact check that, thank you. The org in Austin is located in, well, probably in a better, to be honest, the Philadelphia org is located pretty busy, but the Austin org is located in perfect of a location as an org could ever hope to be located. Which means they should be able, like with having a perfect location, it should mean that the entire Scientology recruitment engine is working as efficiently as possible. Whether by recruitment we mean just bringing in new Scientologists, or being able to convert Scientologists into staff members. However, that machine should be operating as efficiently. And they have this giant new building that they've been preparing for 15 or 20 years. And they still have not been able to scrounge up even 50 Scientologists for each org. Because remember, just because they have 50 staff per org, it's actually less than 50 staff per org. A good chunk of those are Seer members. So, Miss Kim, to the best of my knowledge, even a normal staff member might have a pin, but the pin is not going to be a ring. It's going to be a Scientology. There will be some Scientology symbol. It will not be a ring. The Sea members should have chevrons, 1, 2, or 3 chevrons. I guess the chief petty officers, 3 chevrons. And an officer ring. It will look like a bar. It will look like a rectangle. To the trained eye, it doesn't look. You could never confuse it for a Scientology cross or a Dianetics triangle. I've never seen a staff member with like a Dianetics triangle pin. I've only seen the staff members with little tiny Scientology cross pin. That should be how you can tell the difference. Now, any of you under the radar Scientologist staff members out there, send me an email giving me some inside skinny on whether Sea members are being told not to wear their rank pins, or whether there's any other information that would be helpful in identifying Sea member personnel. Please email me at group. Thank you very much for the question. Mayo says that month, Baluma. Good, I'm glad. Time flies when you're having fun. By the way, for you channel members, one of the amazing perks is you have access to all these fantastic emojis, almost all of which have been designed by Marilyn, by Marilyn Honig. Coffee, Cults, and Crafts, or Coffee, Crafts, and Cults, I never remember. And, Marilyn's saying something. And so, yeah, that's, all the emojis that I have were designed by Marilyn. Okay. Oh, this is an interesting question. Buzz Kia. Do you think having been in Scientology has made you more skeptical of authority? I became anti-authority since my parents got my family when I was 18. Is it just me? I guess I want to say yes, but I'm not sure that's the honest answer. I feel like I was on staff and working on SEERG bases for so long that it just sort of became ingrained in me to appeal to authority and to respect authority. And that fact is why, for a long time, well, honestly, up until I started watching Streets LA, Scientology Audit, William Good, First Amendment auditors bothered them because they weren't showing respect to authority. And I just saw them as troublemakers. And I just saw them as people who were there to upset things. And my reaction to that stemmed from the fact that I had this sort of worship of authority. And Scientology does not try to explain to you, because they don't, that they would never try to, there's no part of Scientology that would leave you with an understanding of why the rights and freedoms of the citizens need to be protected from authority. That was so hard for me to wrap my head around as I was getting further and further away from Scientology. Truly. Very, very hard for me to wrap my head around. Scientology has this perspective, essentially like, you know, as a SEERG member, you're birthing, like where you sleep, where your belongings are, where your clothes are, your bed, your dresser, your drawer, your armoire. These get searched every day by security guards. Searched. See if you have anything good. You have movies you should. You have books you have magazines you have letters from family members that indicate they don't want you to be there. Do you have money lying around that indicates you might be able to leave if you wanted to? Your stuff is searched, and you're supposed to be okay with that. And the viewpoint is, well, if you have nothing to hide, then what would you object to unless you have something to hide? And I'm saying that because that was ingrained into me for so long that I'm not even sure when I got rid of that. And I might just have a recency bias on it. I really do feel that watching William Goode has allowed me to shed this idea that authority is something to be worshipped or respected. Now that doesn't mean I'm like if you work for a guy, you should respect your boss or you can find someone. Like I do believe in respecting the chain of command. Like I do believe it's not like, hey, everyone's just on their own island and it's like anarchy. No, I believe in respecting, the person who you rely on to earn you a living and acting accordingly. But when it comes to this concept of you have the citizens and then you have the elected leadership and they're supposed to be representative of the citizens, but then
Why, hello, how you doing?
The place to be
How can I
tyrannical
help?
towards the citizens.
So you don't want to get in serious
So
trouble,
when you talk
huh?
about skeptical
Okay,
authority,
leave it with me.
that's kind of where I'm coming from when I answer the question the way that I've answered. Now, there's another thing. When people want to say they're an authority because they wrote a book on the subject, I go, yeah, you know who else wrote a book on the subject? I am incredibly skeptical of just people who claim to be authorities on things, which is a different kind of authority. And I don't know if that's the kind of authority that you're talking about. I am unbelievably skeptical of authority when it comes to that. Someone's like, I've got a new system to help you with this. I'm like, yeah, you know who else had a system? L. Ron Hubbard. He's like, I got an award from this person and that person. Yeah, you know who else got a bunch of awards? L. Ron Hubbard. Thank you for the question. All right, let's see. I don't have a rule about, meaning I'm happy to answer questions that I've already answered before, but there are some questions I'm going to skip only because I've answered them recently. I just want to be able to answer every question. Lishka, welcome as a new channel member. I'm happy to have you here. Ooh, Haggis Basher. Have you recognized any of the former Scientologists at the Big Blue that have recently joined the protesters? I gotta be honest, I've been so crazy busy lately. I haven't been watching the protest streams for, it feels like a week. I jumped in last night to some of them just to say hi, but I've been missing for a while, guys, but I'm back. And so I'm not even sure who you're talking about anymore. I did get some messages about one guy who showed up and was interviewed. People seem to be really happy, or thought that there was some guy who showed up, had a chat with some of the protesters, and people were really happy with the chat. They got some emails about it, but I don't know who it was. I don't even know that I saw the person's face. I'll have to pay closer attention, and I'll give you a better answer next time. Matt Elliott, MAA, almost 71 hours now without a smoke. Congratulations, man. If you're quitting smoking, I'm glad to hear it. Choices are great. All right, let's see, what else do we have? This too shall happen. Does all auditing require word, even the littles? When Serge and you did the deep dive, thinking, how would they even know 98.8% I've discussed? Excellent. And the answer is yes. All Scientology requires word. It's actually considered like a crime or a high crime in Scientology to run an auditing command on a pre-clear who didn't, failing to define for the pre-clear. Pre-clear is the person getting the audit. Failing to define for the pre-clear every single word of every auditing command you use in an audit session is. That is how seriously Scientologists take their dictionaries. And it might give you some interesting, a little deeper insight into how big of a deal it would have been for the Masterson that Danny Masterson was on the cover of the Webster's Young Reader's Dictionary that was in like every Scientology course in the world. Danny Masterson was one of the kids on the cover of that thing. And so it's almost like people say Dianetics is the holy book of Scientology. I think the Webster's Young Reader's Dictionary. All right, Xenu Free. I really think you would like L. Ron Liar 91 St. Louis. Dude's good.
Your own personal.
I will tell you what. I'll
DMV.
pull up his channel and I'll subscribe so that he's in my feed when I check
recognize
them. L. Ron Liar. Wait, I think I actually subscribed. Yeah, I'm already subscribed to. I'm already subscribed to this channel. And he's got 191 subscribers, and I'm one of them. So I guess I'll be on the lookout for when he goes live. Just a Northern Girl says, when Scientology collapses, hopefully sooner than later, what will happen to all their buildings in downtown Clearwater, and what do you foresee for Clearwater's future once that happens? So the real answer to this question is this is purely, this will never happen. You're like, oh my God, Aaron, how can you say that? You're saying Scientology will never be taken down. Tell me how you define it. I'll tell you this. I define taking down Scientology as taking away the tax exemption. Scientology as an organization is failing quite rapidly and shrinking quite rapidly. As long as they have that tax exemption, they will be able to continue to amass and increase their wealth even as their membership dwindles. You take away the tax exemption, all the dominoes start to fall. But the reason I say it will never happen, and I shouldn't say that's too extreme. Clearwater, Florida will be the absolute last place on planet Earth that Scientology will sell from. And that is because Clearwater, Florida, one of the purposes that it serves, one of the functions that it serves for David Miscavige, it is the one place that he can bring Scientologists to from all around the world. And when they get to Clearwater, he will be able to convince them that Scientology is actually, it's just not expanding. Look at this. Look. Look at how many people we have around here. Now, for the size of the Flagland base, there's actually very few Scientologists here compared to what you think would be. But compared to any other Scientology organization, the Flagland base is huge and has a lot of Scientology. I mean, there's probably 1,500 Sea Org members. Maybe there's another 1,000 public. Well, that's like, that's like 30, 40 times bigger than any other Scientology. So, Scientologists can come to Clearwater, and David Miscavige can convince them that it's only in their neck of the woods. So, Miscavige, if he ever has to sell or liquidate properties, Clearwater, Florida will be the last place that it occurs. So, would it ever come to that? I think it could eventually come to that. It just probably, honestly, would take decades. Many decades. And it would require
What you need, boss? Some
massive
wheels?
judgment
I can bring them round.
in civil lawsuits.
I'll get there as soon as I can.
And it would require losing the tax exemption. I think they could lose the tax exemption within 10 or 15 years. I want to say 10 years, but I also, 10 years goes by so fast. I mean, the older I get, the years just fly by. So 10 years to me sounds like a lot of time, but 10 years also goes by really fast. I mean, shit, I've seen Scientology lawsuits drag out for 9 before Scientology settled the lawsuit. So, but you are asking a hypothetical, so let's see. If the day comes that Scientology does have to sell its building, what will happen to all their buildings? Oh yeah, well that's the thing. Okay, well now I'm thinking positive. Now I'm thinking optimistic. The truth is, if Scientology did not have a presence in Clearwater, this city would absolutely flourish. We have some of the most beautiful downtown waterfront property. Developers would kill to build giant condo towers and entertainment plexes. I mean, we could have like a Hollywood and Highland type deal in downtown Clearwater, and people would come from all over the place because it's just such a beautiful area. And so, like, if they actually had to get rid of the buildings, there would be no problem finding developers to come in and snap these. Zero. That would be the best possible outcome. Thank you for the question. This Sunrise Dawn gifted a channel. Thank you so much, man. Panko, welcome as a new channel. Hey, Carrie Ann says, how many SEER members are there? We always see the vans driving around, but we never see the people. There's about 5,000. Scientology claims there's 6,000. They actually put out a promo piece that gave like the exact number of SEER members. Billy, sorry guys, my tongue broke. But I have a spreadsheet. Let me see if I can find my spreadsheet real quick. Where I estimated how many. The Sea Org bases that exist in the world. Clearwater. And I'm including Clearwater, Boston, Copenhagen, Sydney, Kaohsiung, Taiwan. Of course, there's the Freeman's ship. And you should probably include international men. And of course, there's multiple different organizations in they put them sort of. So that gives you an idea of how many Sea Org bases that. And here's my spreadsheet.
You're an asshole.
You can do it. And spreadsheet is either delete it or not.
Out of ammo!
What if I search? Yellow. Oh, there's a Sea Org base in New York, actually. Damn. Why can't I find this spreadsheet? There's about 4,000 to 5,000 Sea Org members. Thank you for the question. Okay. Nat Pat 180 was thrilled to hear that applications were approved even before the official launch. Wishing all the healing to future Scientology former. Yeah. When you say the official launch, I guess you mean before I did it.
Holy fuck!
Yeah. Beryl Cheryl gifted a channel. Thank you so much, Beryl. Ben Bacon Bib. Hey, Aaron, Tommy Scoville once had a. How about you? Business in the front, party in the back. Started taking care. No, I never had one. I mean, when I was like little, the closest I got to that was that regular hair, but then like hair in the back, 'cause it's all curly. So like, I remember in grade school they would call me Curly Q. I don't know that I would call it a mullet. I don't know. One of these days I'll dig up a picture and I'll the community tab and you can let me know what qualifies it. No, I never had it. Thank you for the question. Alrighty. Kira, is child auditing still happening in Scientology? Like literally Surge, Laura FM, etc. What the protesters are ranting about, is this happening now? Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, auditing kids in Scientology is considered good. That's not something that they would phase out. Like they phased out having kids in the Sea Org. Or they phased out being able to join the Sea Org and bring your young kid. Auditing kids is completely in line with every psychologist. And L. Ron Hubbard wrote and lectured a lot about auditing kids. There's a lot of auditing specifically for kids. Kids are still encouraged to do auditor training as young as possible. Encouraged to get auditing and go up the bridge as young as possible. I mean, you're seeing kids who are like 17, 18, 19 years old on OT7. And so the answer is very much yes. Without a doubt.
Let's play some hoops later.
Sure, I can use a little Macbeth today.
What ups?
What is this? Dorona says, I was about 10 minutes late and was listening at 2x. Aaron's Hello to Marilyn was one of the cutest things ever. I suggest you go back and watch it at double speed later. I actually listen to Marilyn on 2x speed when she does her videos, and that's one of the cutest things ever. Lishka gifted 5 channel memberships. Thank you, Lishka. And guys, my understanding is if you're in the live chat and you're commenting in the live chat, YouTube will automatically assign these gifted memberships to people who are in the live chat if you have your settings set accordingly. I don't actually know how to do that. I've done that myself. I'm not sure if it's an opt-in situation or an opt-out situation, but if you're in the live chat and all of a sudden it looks you're a member, that's because of all these gifted memberships that are being auto-assigned by YouTube. So thank you, Lishka.
God damn it!
What the fuck?
Okay, Haggis Basher. How can Scientology fall under rights of religion and say they're having services when they are a cult regarding such things as megaphone regulating, pearl snapping, and DOA? I mean, the answer to your question is just that it's because Scientology has tax exemption from the IRS as being a religion and being a cult are not mutually exclusive. And Scientology is recognized as a religion in the United States, and laws protect them accordingly. Which is why it is so important to get their taxes in, so that they no longer. Thank you very much. Melody Head was very, very powerful and informative. Your live stream with Sturge auditing. Hard discussions to have, but necessary for a better understanding of the reality. Yeah, that was hard. Thank you for the comment. Car Pav. Question: how is it in this day and age that an organization can take over an entire downtown? How is this possible? Money, 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 money is the answer. Money, money, money. There's just no laws preventing any organization from buying property. That can be done. It's a non-competitive situation. Nobody wants to buy anything in downtown. Why would they? Scientology scares everyone, faces everyone. So they've created a non-competitive situation where they're pretty much the only buyer. The only buyer. Nikki Hatfield says, I live outside Philly and I plan to start protesting next week. Any advice getting started that you could share? Just take my phone and start videoing. I could make a couple signs too. Yeah, I would recommend starting simple without signs, just so you get used to being there. You get used to using your phone and where are you looking? Are you looking at your phone? Are you looking at the people? Are you comfortable walking? You know, that kind of stuff. I would start simple. I saw a great video. I've got it notated on my list of subjects to do videos about. I forget which channel it was. A great video of someone at the Philly Org last week. They had a conversation with Chris Owens, who I've known forever. They had a conversation with Steve Olek, who's the executive director, who I've known forever, known his family, his wife, his daughter. I grew up with his daughter, Selena. And so, yeah, there's already some people having some success out there in Philly. Let me see if I can find it. My Chris Owens, Steve Olek. All I wrote, I didn't even put a link to the channel. Chris Owens, Steve Olek. Oh, I think that's because the title of the video had their names in it, and I assumed that it would come up if I search. Chris Owens, Steve Olek. Okay, let me do. Come on, I thought for sure I'd be able to find it. Damn it. Save the link. Well, I know there's not a ton of protesters out there in Philly, so whoever, and I think it was on my subscription feed. No, someone emailed me and said, hey, this is Chris Owens and Steve Olek. It is. Oh, is it? There it is. Bada boom. Okay, the channel. Okay, the channel is Scientology Audit Phil, P-H-I-L. That's Phil from Philadelphia. Maybe his name's Phil. Just a really convenient name. Yeah, Scientology Audit Phil. got a video from 5 days ago where Chris Owens comes out and talks to him, and from the exact same day, yep, Steve Olek, the executive director of the org, comes out and talks to him. Oh,
If it isn't my creepy silent friend, how can I help? I take it this isn't purely a social call. Of course not. You're in trouble and you need my help. No problem.
All right, I am now subscribed to Scientology Audit Phil, and you guys can check. Who? Barb, you keep bringing up comments. Barb. All right. Thank you for your question. Yeah, just show up. Actually, so Nikki, here's what I recommend. Watch the video from Scientology Audit Phil and just see what now he has a sign. So I'm not saying don't bring it. If you're asking for my advice, just start simple. You don't need a sign. Watch his video, see what he did, see what happened. Do more. Thank you, Nikki. Yay, Chucky. Can you please explain the pay structure for senior Sea Org members? It's hard to believe that those in senior positions make only $50 a week. Well, Chucky, you just explained. They really do make $50 a week. Only David Miscavige pays himself a six-figure salary.
What do you need?
And everyone else makes $50 a week. It's just actually. Now, again, rules on compensation. This is one of those things. I said the pendulum swings back and forth and back and forth. It used to be that if you were a Scientology fundraiser, it used to be that you were you made some tiny commitment, even if you were a Sea Org member and you got to pocket that. Then Miscavige got pissed off that some Sea Org members were actually making money, and he said, no. That money goes into the staff pay sum. And yeah, so like if you were a registrar in the Sea Org, for example, and you sold an auditor training package, the auditor training package, you're paying for courses and you're paying for books. The course is just the privilege of walking into the course room. And the books is like the materials that you're going to study and the books and all that kind of stuff. The registrar was allowed for some time to personally pocket the book commitment, 5% book. And that's where you would have Sea Org members, some Sea Org members, making hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of dollars a week. That went on for a while. And you probably had a scenario there where, yeah, like a registrar in LA is making more money than executives. So again, I remember when David Miscavige put a kibosh to that, and those commissions were still earned, but they didn't go to the registrar, they went to the staff pay sum. And but who knows? Someone might have come along and discovered that the reason income was suffering is because these registrars had their commissions taken away, and then the commissions maybe were. So I can't say for sure what happens today in all orgs. Really annoying. But if any of you super secret Scientology insiders want to give me any updated info on the Sea Org commission structure for registrars and fundraisers, and the any crazy changes to the staff pay structure recently. Thank you for the question, Jay Chucky. All right, let's see. I basically have a never-ending supply of questions. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to tackle all the super chats. Sure. Those are all addressed. And then I'll go back to the beginning. Melissa Turcotte. I haven't caught a live of yours in so long. Has anything happened recently regarding what happened to you in LA? I believe you're talking about Patrick Perry. To bite my tongue on any updates. Patrick Perry, just for the time. More to come soon. I promise you. Thank you for the question. I wish I could give you more info. I just Stephanie East. Love you, Aaron. Would you do a second take on the name of the foundation you have now? Wait. The website address and all? I think you misspoke. Oh my God, I didn't say Aftermath Foundation. The website, the foundation is the sptvfoundation.org. I'm sorry, that's the website. The sptvfoundation.org. Now, what I said is I bought 4 web addresses. The sptvfoundation.org and .com. And then I just bought spt.org and .com. But they all just redirect. So, well, here we go. That's it. I don't know what I said before. That was a mistake, but that is the correct information. Thank you, Stephanie East. I appreciate the question. Oh my goodness. New England Truth. Unbelievable. Very generous of you. Thank you so much. I'm a complete nobody to this movement. I've watched your videos and Leah's, and I am now on your side. Thank you, New England. I appreciate that. Thank you for joining your super chat. And thank you for your involvement. Nobody is just a nobody. Everybody is somebody. Okay, scrolling down. Oh, New England Truth. What can the general public do to combat Scientology as? So it's interesting. The easiest answer is just for me to say, support your favorite SBTV creator, watch the videos, share the videos, like the videos, comment on the videos. That's like an easy answer because anybody can do it. And the more exposure there is on the internet of former Scientologists, the people in Scientology know, who are not only telling their own stories, but are helping other people tell their stories, and are also showing that it's good out here. Scientologists really have this idea that you leave Scientology and you become a homeless, drug-addicted person dying in the gutter. The more former Scientologists have their faces on the internet, of course, I'm preferential to YouTube.
What
So
brings
that
you into that?
when a Scientologist who's working their way slowly, the baby steps on the way out of Scientology, when they come on onto YouTube, they're looking around, they see people they know, they recognize, they used to like, all that kind of stuff. That makes the entire process of leaving Scientology easier and more realistic and more. So that is something the general public can do to help combat Scientology as a whole, because to me, combating Scientology includes making it as easy as possible. That brings us right to a discussion of the SBTV Foundation. The SBTV Foundation exists to make it as easy as possible for people to leave Scientology, and also to help people who are former Scientologists and are still suffering the effects of having been. So, obviously the general public can support the SBTV Foundation, and that helps. Now, there's other things that we've been talking about recently as far as what can really be done to get the tax-exempt status revoked. And there's things that can be done at like the grassroots level, and there's things that can be done at the congressional level and the Senate level and the executive level. And you know, we've been talking about these things on all the channels, and we're gonna keep talking about all these things. To really effectively accomplish these things requires broad action and cooperation and decent organization. And I know we're doing things like baby steps, little by little. I can tell you that for me, the goal of trying to get regular and engaged live streaming protesters outside every Scientology organization, every city, is something that to me creates kind of an infrastructure that can then be used to activate more grassroots activity, to do the type of activism that can target, like, you know, one of the things we talked about on this channel is getting in front of every candidate for the House of Representatives. I keep saying congressional candidates, but when I say Congress, I'm talking about the House of Representatives. Every congressional seat is currently, there's elections to fill the seats for the entire House of Representatives. We want to get people in front of every incumbent in the House of Representatives and every candidate running for all of these seats in the House of Representatives, and get them on the record for what is their position on holding congressional hearings into Scientology's tax-exempt status. Would they support holding such hearings? For me, if we have 3, 4, 5, 6 people who are regularly doing live stream protests outside of every Scientology, I guess in this conversation we're talking about the United States. We can use those platforms, those channels, those audiences to mobilize enough people to actually accomplish that task. And it's one of these things of just starting to get the domino. Okay, so is asking all of these candidates for the House of Representatives, is asking all of those people their position on it, is that going to directly result in losing Scientology's tax benefit? No, of course not. But what it does do is create broad awareness in the minds of people who are actually in positions of power that there is a real grassroots movement to demand this action, and that it's actually a very popular thing, and you'd actually become like a folk hero. You'd become like a superstar of in the House of Representatives if you were to lead the call. You were to be the loudest voice to call for this hearing, a hearing in the Scientology tax exempt. Whether that hearing would be by the House Ways and Means Committee, like I don't know. I don't know to that level. There are another committee that could hold hearings on this. I don't even know. We're not at that stage yet. I'm not at that stage. The stage that we're at is, how do we get this? How do we get this done? How do we get everyone on the record, everyone in the House of Representatives on the record for whether they would support hearings in the Scientology tax exempt? And then once we have that, what can we do? Where do we go? So, kind of a long answer. Gave kind of a few different answers, but I think they're all total. Thank you, New England. All right, let's see. Nancy New 12. I'm sorry if this is too personal, but were you and Colin identical? There seem to be a lot of twins in Scientology. You, Sterling, Mike Brown. You were a twin. I was a twin. Sterling Tompkins,
slot machines, and the
Mike Brown has twins,
There's
and
always
others.
something to get into
It's interesting.
and find with
In my
love.
experience, there wasn't a lot of twins in Scientology, but it is funny that in our small group there are a lot of twins represented. Yes, me and my brother Colin were identical. Not too personal. Thank you for the question. Eat More Pizza now gifted 5 more memberships. What? Pearls. Eat More Pizza. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Fluffer Squirrel UK, please subscribe to all streamers listed. Guys, on Fluffer Squirrel UK's channel, on the community tab, there is a list. All the streaming protest channels,
Do you know what you'd like?
organized by city. So that's particularly useful. Check out that list and subscribe to all of them. Why not? I mean, yes, I should. I really should, actually. Try to remember good. Ooh, what is this? OT 420 Sandra. It was just on Danny's. We saw a video of Patrick Perry's dog
You are relentless.
attacking random people on Hollywood. Really? And? Guys,
Will that be everything?
thank you for
The Diamond Casino and Resort would like to
Nancy New
congratulate the
12.
winner
Have
of
you
a
ever
brand
considered
new
reaching out to
car.
growing up in polygamy? Warren Jeffs was their leader in jail. His property is now owned and run by ex-members. I don't have a habit of reaching out to other channels. And it's only because I have more videos than I could possibly do on my own channel. I do like going on other channels. And I would love to collab with Growing Up in Polygamy. I just haven't reached out to them. But I really never reach out to anyone. But it's not because I don't want to. I would love to. So like if whoever runs that channel, if they contacted me and said, hey, do you want to do a collab on Wednesday? I'd be like, absolutely, and it would happen. But you guys know, when I call myself a pathological procrastinator, this is kind of what I mean. I would love to do a collab with them, but I'm never going to take the time to ask you. But I would love to do it. And I hope to do it. And I've even been talking about, to my friends, really wanting to do more of that.
Your bets, please.
Really wanting to talk to more with former members of other groups, and if possible, wanting to do some of these chats here.
Okay, bets are closed. Let's begin.
But growing up in polygamy,
That's
I love it because it's just so close to my channel name. It'd be a perfect collab. Here, let me just pull up the channel and see, because this might be one of those channels where I've seen a bunch of their stuff and I never quite realized it.
And that's 20. Win for the dealer.
Look at me. Okay. Dan.
Time to send in your bets.
Okay.
All bets are
Okay,
closed.
I'm gonna
It's
subscribe
time
to that
play.
channel. Either. Wait, do they do lives?
19.
They don't do a lot of live. Okay, so I'm gonna unsubscribe because
Another card?
they're just gonna get lost in all my subscriptions. That's pretty much the only thing I use my subscribe tab for, is to go. When you click the button for all the channels you're subscribed to, all the ones who are live go right to the top, and there's like
14.
next to them
That's
that
a
they're
16.
live, and that's
And
really
the
the only
house
thing.
is bust.
Growing up in polygamy, let me do a lot. 2 days ago, 5 days ago,
And now your bets.
9 days ago, 12 days ago. Yeah, they do a lot. That would be really fun. If we do, you know what I'd love to do? A simultaneous live stream.
Okay, bets
That
are
would be
closed. Let's begin.
But I don't know how to reach them.
That's an 8.
So.
An 8?
If I get an email from them and they
You
want to
want
do a
another
collab,
card?
the answer will be yeah.
18. A 15.
Thank you, Nancy New.
20. Dealer wins.
Okay, Skyrider140 says there is a template letter. Oh, what's this? Barb?
Your bets, please.
Okay. Skyrider140. There's a template letter to the U.S. House of Representatives on hearings for Scientology's tax exempt status on my community page. You can email to help raise awareness channel. That name. Oh, okay. You're shaming your channel as Skyrider140. Excellent. That's really, really good to know. Well, here, let me pull up the channel. And I think I've got a bunch of emails. Okay, community tab. Oh, did I save this? Have I shared this? Says that I shared this. There you go. You sure do. You got a great letter there. Yeah. Go to Skyrider140's YouTube channel and check out her community tab. An excellent sample letter there that you send to your representative. Thank you for that, Skyrider. Okay, Karen McCoy says, Aaron, membership number update, please. All right, let me check. Oh my God, it is literally 999. Uh-oh, one more. So like, see, here's what I don't know. If somebody buys like 10 membership, does that automatically go on the membership number, or does YouTube wait for those to be assigned before they count them? That's an example of something like I have no idea. I don't even know how I would. 1,000! Amazing. We just hit 1,000. Hold on. I think this does a laser show. Wow, did you pick the perfect time? Well, I was going to say you picked the perfect time to ask that question. Yeah, you sure did. You picked the perfect time to ask that question. That was in. Thank you for that, Karen. Farida Donforio. Welcome as a new shopper. Dulce? Be any of those? No, well, a new. Okay, I'm gonna scroll. Oh, Carrie. Welcome as a new channel member. Portland
10.
SP supporter Melody gifted 5 channels. Thank you, Mel.
Would you like another card?
Very, very awesome. Rose Gold, Ron, you done messed up. If you're referring to something specific that I did at 9, said that. Did I?
Your move?
What happened at 9:40? Oh, Isla Flamin. Aaron, you should get a hold of Brother Bilal if you haven't already. He's writing a book about his life working for Will and Jada Smith. I'm glad you reminded me. I was supposed to get back with Brother Bilal once I had my studio in here set up. And now that I do, I should get in touch with Brother Bilal. What's going on? Thank you for the reminder. He and I were planning on doing something, but he didn't want to do it through StreamYard. He wanted to do it in person. said, well, you're in luck. I'm about to set up my studio. And then I took forever to set up my studio. But then Andrew Gold came to town and got my studio set up. So now it's time to get back in. Okay. God, this is really bugging me.
Okay, bets are closed. Let's
Wait,
begin.
a little bit of flat yingle.
We have 9. 2. Another
That is
card?
truly awful. All right. Oh, what do we got? Brody. I was born and raised in Scientology and a former staff member for. I'm a big fan of your channel. I noticed in one of your old videos that you had a gi and a blue belt hanging on the wall. Do you practice jujitsu?
That's 19.
Well, I like to say that I do.
A 10?
Jesus.
And that's 20.
Oh, guys.
Win for the dealer.
My nose is all stuffed up. But I haven't trained in like a year. And I keep telling myself I'm going to go back. But I've got this, my right hip is always bugging me. And I've always got a million reasons not to go. And then I'm like, I'll go back when I lose 15 pounds. And then I'm like, and then I'll go back when my back doesn't.
All bets are closed. It's time to play.
And then I've got a million excuses. It's really hard to casual. It's jujitsu. It's hard.
That's blackjack.
And I've still been
Dealer
paying like
wins.
$120 a month for the membership at the place that I go to in Clearwater. And I literally have not
Your
been
bets, please.
there. Place is like 7 minutes away from me. And this week I've been like, you know what? I think I gotta call him and be like, I've lost all hope. I don't think I'm gonna come back. I should just cancel the payment. Don't do it. You'll get back in there. And I'm like, here's what I tell myself. I tell myself that I'm eventually gonna go back in there.
Okay, bets are
And
closed.
the first
Let's
time
begin.
I get injured, I mean,
That's
between
17.
ribs and
A
toes and
Do you want another
knees,
card?
shoulders, so easy to get. Now, I mean, luckily at the gym or the school I go to, it's not filled with a bunch of hyper competitive, like roided out assholes.
We have 13.
It's actually a very, very, very train friendly. But I guess I also tend to be very eager and
Time to send in
enthusiastic
your
and
bets.
aggressive, and I don't know, I'm not 20 anymore, I'm 43. And it's easy for a tendon to pop. Or a shoulder. My shoulders are kind of tight. It's easy for one of those to get jacked up. And I tend to have some lower back issues. And I don't know. I've got all the excuses in the world not to go back. The only thing that I'm holding on to by a thread is the fact that I still pay that month. And I did get, I have 4 stripes, my blue belt. And the other thing I'd said is I wanted to actually compete at least once at each belt. And I competed at white belt, 4-stripe white belt, competed, in my age group, in my weight class, and I got a gold medal. And I wanted to do the same thing at blue belt, but I don't know. It's such a time commitment too. Training once a week is totally worth it. You got to train 2 or 3 times a week in order to even retain information. And I know I've already forgotten everything I ever learned. But I'll get back in there. And then I'll get injured. Thank you, Brody. Jamie UC, welcome as a new channel member. Ashley Jade, welcome as a new. Oh, did I say Aftermath? Oh, Lord. At 9:14, you said Aftermath instead of S. My bad, guys. 6 years of habits die hard. What can I say? I'm Trump. I was afraid I might have. Big Z 1979. How can we never hear anything about the Nation of Islam? Is it not as awful as Scientology? Glad you mentioned that. I was recently sent a video of a Nation of Islam graduation at a Scientology org, and I've got the link right here on my list of videos. Like, I have the actual link. It's on a channel called First Work Media. It's a video that's 6 months old. It's a 15-minute video. And I'm going to do a reaction video to this video. You know what? I'm putting that. We'll see. Thank you for that, Big Z. All right, let's see. Barb, are you accidentally chatting as me? Apparently, I commented in the live chat, plus I get my butt kicked by 12-year-olds. Something tells me that was Barb. Thank you, Barb. Okay. Titty Bird says, no, I'm just Tilty Bird. It always looks like Titty Bird. Question. Missions. Can they recruit? Can the public go to them to scope out and get some info, maybe? Yeah, so a Scientology mission is like a tiny little Scientology organization that's privately owned and it's only open part-time. And they can deliver all the same kinds of auditing that a regular org can do.
It's
but they
time to play.
cannot do any of the auditor training.
A 15?
They can do basic
10.
Scientology intro courses, and they can do some
Would you
of
like another card?
what they call the auditor prerequisite.
There's an 18.
But they cannot,
Another card?
missions are not allowed to train Scientology. In fact, doing Scientology at a mission is probably a better,
That's a
less
14.
stressful, less high pressure experience than doing
Don't let this
Scientology at
get
an
you
org.
down.
It used to be that missions were huge. Missions were successful. When you say recruit, do you mean